Despite huge investment, many companies are struggling with AI adoption and value creation. A recent study published in the Harvard Business Review actually said that 95% of companies are falling behind their goals. And this article was exciting because it revealed three main reasons why AI implementation efforts fail. And surprisingly, the biggest challenge isn't technology, but it's humans. First, the target is constantly shifting in AI. The technology is evolving so rapidly that whatever you specify today as your main goal will be outdated in a few months. And that keeps making employees frustrated that just when they have figured out what they should do, you update their goals. The second challenge is ambiguity in what is meant by value. AI can improve a lot of things. It's very rarely that it immediately shows in the top line as additional revenue, but rather you have multiple refinements here and there, increased efficiency, increased coordination. And when you lack shared understanding of what value is, people are constantly confused about what they should be doing and if they have made progress or not. And some companies that I know are working on this actually have defined a value framework that starts from the strategy, then it defines concrete themes under which value needs to be created. Then there are use cases and specific ways of measuring value in that area. And the point here is that they create shared understanding of what is meant with value, how it connects to the big picture, and that helps everyone be on the same page. And the idea that AI can generate value in very different ways is nicely illustrated by this second article in Harvard Business Review that shows the different ways that people are using AI. The main use case is actually therapy, so people use AI to manage their own emotions. But then there are things like organizing my life or enhanced learning or improving software code for professionals. And the point here is what I'm making, that AI is so flexible that you can use it in many use cases and generate kind of emotional soft value. You can save time with it, you can improve quality with it, you can automate mechanical tasks with it. And when people can imagine all these use cases and they feel that that use case is very valuable, they get frustrated when others prioritize other use cases. And then the third dimension is the emotional and identity threat related to AI. AI doesn't just provide an additional tool to employees, but it really fundamentally questions who is able to do something that generates value. Many activities that were highly value-adding, highly important, special skills now become replaced by AI technologies. And many professionals take it personally. As a professor, I used to be proud of how I can write, but now AI writes so much better than I do. And that makes me feel pain. And for many, this pain prevents the adoption of AI in their work. I want to highlight this article that develops a systematic approach for experimenting with Gen AI in organizations. And the main argument in this one is that AI has now moved from being a kind of pilot that gets people excited into the era of true transformation that changes how the organization functions. It's not an IT update, but really a shift in the way we work. And they argue and show examples of companies that have invented new processes and then run a controlled experiment where half of the organization uses a new process and the other half uses the old process. And they measure in a very detailed way how much faster or better the new process is. And only if the improvements are significant, they then implement the new process. And this way, as a leader, you learn what will work in your organization, and your organization members get concrete evidence of how and why AI improves things. And that helps not in the analytical sense and also in the emotional sense. And when you do these experiments, you shouldn't be overly focused on a single experience, but think of AI-related improvements as a portfolio of new products or innovations. So you do 10 experiments, and maybe 2 of those will show robust evidence of improvement. And you should be happy with that you learn how your organization works and where redefining processes with AI generates the most value. And this paper about experiments, it actually concludes by highlighting that AI is not about automating single tasks, but really redefining how the organization works. And here I think both this article that says AI's biggest payoff is coordination, not automation, and the same author's book Reshuffle are super important in that they explain how AI enables you to completely redesign workflows in the organization and even in ecosystems. Because AI enables you to coordinate actions between multiple actors automatically so that they don't have to run meetings where everyone shows slides from their own ERP or CMR or special technological software, but everything happens automatically and smoothly, and that speeds things up. And now, if we go back to the main challenges in AI adoption and emotions, not only is that your personal skills have become outdated, but also the very purpose or fundamental role of your organization in the industry becomes questioned. And your ability as a leader to let go of the things that you used to control. So you used to have your processes, you used to have your people, but now you have to rethink that and delegate some of the managerial activities to AI and have the confidence that the technologically enabled coordination will generate more value if you just design it very well and let it happen. But you, as a leader, have to challenge your own mental model of how your organization works, what your collaborators do, and how that combination creates value to the customer. And then you redesign the process and emotionally commit to it and help your employees and partners emotionally appreciate the new reality. And in this finding the appreciation for the new reality, you gotta start with empathy. So you really must understand that when you transform the organization, you're destroying their routines, their skills, their sense of self. So it's okay that they are upset. You can be empathic. Returning to the original article, the first one of the key insights that they share is that when leaders show how they are grappling with AI, what prompts they are using, what mistakes they are making, the organization becomes more open to learning because the leaders' struggles legitimize the learning process. So when your employees and colleagues are aggressive toward you, I don't believe that, this is wrong, this is not happening, don't try to argue against them, but simply say something like that. I understand that this is painful. I understand that this is wrong, that this is happening. However, it's happening even if we feel negative about it. And once you have reconnected with your people through empathy, you can start together designing the experiments, how you create value in new ways. You can start envisioning the new future that your company will have. And in this part, partly through these engaging activities, partly through communicating the new direction in a vivid way, and partly by shaping your identity, you can generate positive emotional excitement and really engage people's attention, energy, and actions to drive the new vision. And these techniques are described in detail in this third article that I published in the Strategic Organization 2 years ago. And when you do emotion management as part of your AI experimentation and upgrading your thinking, then it's more likely that you come up with good ideas and that your organization and its stakeholders are committed to the new way of working and winning in the new AI-driven ecosystems that will dominate the future.